Yeah,
into
four names into 4 letters.
How smart. So, Mr. Saji, I mean, what is your book about in like a minute? Can you tell our viewers what this book is about? It's titled Don't Die Sitting. Why shouldn't we die sitting?
Yeah, well, Don't Die Sitting is a book of inspiration. And you know, in life, we all go through life, and sometimes we just go through the challenges of life and we felt overwhelmed. This book is just to encourage and inspire anybody that is going through any kind of things in life. The book is divided into 4 parts: the challenges we all face, the chances that we all have, the choices we all need to make, and the changes we all need. So, you know, in life, we can't just get bogged down with our challenges. And in the midst of our problem is actually our opportunity. And that's where the chances come in. We need to look around. What opportunities do I have with what I'm going through? Where is the way out? And then, you know, having the chances, having opportunities is great. But the real thing in life is to just take some action and make some difficult, tough choices. And that is where our changes lies. So I pray that the book actually is going to inspire people not to die just sitting on one spot, but to get up and do something.
Wow, that's powerful. So that's what your book is about.
Yeah.
Can you tell me why you decided to write this book?
Well, I was in Belgium for 4 years, and in Belgium they speak only French and Dutch. I grew up in Nigeria speaking English, and it was a challenging environment. And actually, that's kind of a place where when you're overwhelmed, you really want to die sitting because there is nothing you can do. You can't fit into the society. And, you know, but the time come in Belgium that I really have to decide, do I want to stay here or do I want to go back to Nigeria? Because things were really difficult. And that's when I came about the story of these 4 lepers. Amazing story in 2 Kings, you know, if you're familiar with the biblical story.
So this came from the Bible?
It came from the Bible.
Okay, so it's the story of the 4 lepers in the Bible that inspired you.
Right.
To go through your own troubles.
To go through my troubles.
And in turn, you turn it into this book.
Right. And that's exactly what I did, because these guys, they were outcast from the society, you know, they were neglected. Actually, the law was against them. And I know there are some people out there that think maybe the law in society is not working for them. But with all the experiences of the people, my experience and experience of other people that have lost something along the way, is just to know that in the midst of what you're going through is your opportunity.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit. You talked about the law being against the lepers in the Bible.
Right.
That would probably be when, you know, in the Bible, if you're a leper, you're not supposed to live
in the city, among the people.
But for those who are not familiar with the story, those lepers actually discovered huge. They discovered like food and money and everything when their community was actually starving, and they were actually the means through which the city
got liberated.
Yeah. So can you relate that with some, I mean, African immigrants here? How can the law be against us? You know,
like for the people that are immigrants, for example, in the US or Europe or anywhere, the first thing when you come in is that you don't fit in. You don't seems as if you're fitting into society. And that is when you want to do something and they tell you, you know what, you're not a citizen, you can't do this. I actually make an application, you know, got this call from this guy, you know, actually been dying to work at one consulting firm, very great consulting firm. I got this call, and you know, we had the first call, we had the second call. On the third call, the guy said, I assume you're a citizen, right? I said, well, I'm working on that. I'm not a citizen yet. I say, well, I'm really sorry, sir. This job has to really be for citizens. And if you get those kind of calls, like 1, 2, or 3 times, I can tell you it's really, really demotivating. But the thing is, right there, I know that there are other opportunities for me. So for immigrants that feel as if the law has kept you outside of the system, you know, it's really to say that, okay, if that opportunity is not possible, what other things are there that I can do? Because we all look at the preferred future that we want, and we just keep wondering, when will I be able to make a breakthrough? And you know, the trick in life is, if you are not going to break down, definitely you're going to break through. one day.
All right, let me stop you right there. I appreciate the fact that you're looking at our viewers the whole time, but
Right.
I feel like I'm left out of this church.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's like a preaching going on right now, and you're preaching right at
Well,
the people.
I don't intend to preach.
Preach at me too.
Okay.
I like what you just said, that if it's either you break through or you break down.
Right.
Has there ever been a point in your life that you had to face situations like that?
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, I don't know if I can say this on here, but I will say it anyway. You know, there is 3 gruesome months of my life, and I call it gruesome because that was when I came to the U.S. with a dependent diplomatic visa because my wife works with the embassy.
Let me cut you off shortly.
Yeah.
So now you're talking about people who may not have the right visa or green card.
Right.
That's one of the ways that the law can be against you.
Against you, right.
Okay, so you've experienced that.
Yeah, I've experienced it, and I have to really decide, you know, my job told me I couldn't come in anymore because my visa expires.
In that 3 months.
In that 3 months, you know, nowhere to stay. I have to stay with friends.
You had no apartment? Where were you staying?
I mean, it's just hanging out with my friends.
What about your stuff?
I mean, I distributed it to all my friends.
You
all
distributed your stuff all across?
Yeah, and at the same time, I was talking to an attorney. You know, I was working with an attorney. The job will ask me, you know, the people that are willing to maybe sponsor an H-1B to help me out. They will tell me, you know, just get me, you know, maybe an employment letter that you have before, and I have to go through all the boxes that I put in different places.
From people's apartments,
yeah,
where you put them.
I have to search through it. And I actually have my suit in my car, I remember.
You had your suit.
But I have my suit in my car, so anytime I need to appear anywhere, you know.
H-1B is a working visa, right?
Work visa, yeah.
That a company can sponsor.
Right.
So you had your suit permanently in the car so that you can be ready when you have to go to the next.
Yeah.
So how did you pass through that time? What about your family?
Well, my family, Well, my family, since my wife worked with the Dutch embassy, we had our first daughter in April 2006. And when our first daughter was 4 months, they had to take my wife back to Belgium. So she went back to Europe. So I missed everything I'm going through. I'm not going to see my daughter. I don't know how long that is going to last. So that actually lasted for a year when I was able to see her again. But I just took that time, you know, to summon courage that I know storms don't last always. You know, I know that weeping may endure for a night, but I know, just like the scripture says, joy comes in the morning. And that was the thing that was able to sustain me to go through that time.
So what was your defining moment?
Well, I think my defining moment was the time that I have to decide. You know, my wife is there. We got married, you know, just a year into our marriage. We had our first daughter, and then she went back to Europe for work. I am here working. You know, my defining moment was, do I want to stay here, you know, and make this thing work, make life happen so that they can come back and join me? And if you look at so many African immigrants, that's the way it is. Wife and kids are going to be back there in Africa. They are here, you know, trying to work this thing out so that they can finally come and join them. Or just you say, you know what, I mean, my wife, I'm a dependent of a diplomat. I can just go back to Belgium and, you know, just started enjoying. But I have this vision inside of me that I think is better for us to be together in a place where we can grow our own life. And that was my defining moment, you know, and that's the time you have to really decide, do you want to do this or you are not going to do that? And that's why I made a decision. Although it was difficult, that was when I made a decision to stay. That, you know what, I have an attorney that's going to work this out. I have people, I mean, my resume is there. I'm not scared of my skills. So I know I have what it takes. But when I look at the surrounding, it looks very tough. And I just stayed through it.
How do you see some other people handling situations like this?
You know, for the people handling situations like this, that you are going through challenges, you know, if you look at the guy at the cover of this book, you know, you see that the guy actually has one leg, and the other leg is prosthetics. You know, so many people didn't pay attention to that. But sometimes life has taught us that we should focus on the prosthetics. And you can imagine, so many people that have seen this book, the first thing they notice is, oh, this guy lost his leg. But how do we forget
that he still has
that
one
this
leg?
guy still has one left?
That is true. He lost one leg, but he still has one leg.
You know, so the thing is, what we have
that
is
you
more
can
than what we
turn
lack.
around.
Yeah, it's more than what we lack. But when we go through situations, for people who are out there going through situations, I think the most important thing is to focus on what you have.
So for people that the law is against them, for example, people who don't have green card, I dwell on that a lot because I know a lot of Africans, or let me say immigrants, would rather use somebody else's green card.
Right.
To, you know, so but what do you have to say to people like that, that the law is against them? How can they, what is the good thing that they have? What's their one good leg?
Okay, now for the people who are out there, who you feel, I mean, actually, you know, we can't really say technically that the law is against them. The law is the law. They just came in at the other side of the law, which it has happened to me.
I like the way you put it.
Yeah.
They just came in at the other side.
At the other side of the law. I mean, definitely if it's not working for you, you think it's against you. Okay. So the thing is, if you're in that situation right now.
Now you can talk to them.
If you're in that situation right now, you know, maybe you don't have a green card, you don't have a work visa, you know, things are not just working out. Again, storms don't last long. You have to focus inward and forward. You have to look forward to the fact that you are not the only one. That's one thing about challenges. People are going to talk themselves down. People are going to be depressed, thinking they are the only one. You are not the only one in this situation. If you look at that, in fact, in my own time, I have so many online forums. Oh my God, people from India, people from China, people from Africa, people from Ghana. Everybody is in the same pot, you know, don't have the right papers, can't go so many places. But the thing is, what I want to say is, you have to be very, very prepared mentally rather than physically. It's not physical strength that you need. You have to put yourself in a positive mindset that this one day you are going to have a breakthrough. If you have a resume, keep sending it out there. Talk to an attorney, read about immigration laws, be in the news, know what is going on, and before you know it, there will be a way, there will be a law that is going to allow you to be able to get things straight.
Thanks so much, Saji. I really, appreciate your time. My last question is this just for Christians because it's technically based on a Christian story?
Well, this is not technically a Christian book. It's based on a Christian story, but it's for anybody.
I see.
Anybody that is going through challenges and anybody who believe one day they have the potential within them to make things happen in life.
I see.
But for right now, because of challenges, they can't just be, they are not just able to make it happen. So it's for everybody.
So finally, where can people get this book?
Well, people can get this book on Amazon. It's on Amazon.com. And also for the people in the UK, we're going to be sending some copies to the UK. We're working with Amazon to make it available in UK. For the people in Africa, talking to a few bookshops in Africa and a few places that people will be able to get it.
Well, thank you so much, Saji Ijiyemi. It's nice having you in the studio.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
Well, viewers, I hope that you've been inspired. For one, I am. So whatever you're going through, it's only for a while. And like I said, if you do not break down.
Yeah, it's either you break through or you break down.
It's either you break
through.
It's either you break through or you break down. So I guess the choice is yours. The timing to break through, and someday you will if you keep in good faith.
That's right.
So thank you so much again, Saji. That was very inspiring. All right, viewers, stay tuned. We have an awesome guest coming up next. Omatala Jalade. All right. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thanks a lot. That was good. What's up, people? It's your girl Adiola. It's been an interesting week in Nigeria as a former governor of Kwara State, Dr. Bukola Saraki, has been accused of being involved in a 21 billion naira bank loan fraud. 21 billion naira. That's more than 130 million US dollars. The thing is, he's been getting these loans for years. without paying them. That's how it accumulated to $130 million. By the way, he's been doing stuff like this for a long time. He has a record. Yeah, for a long time, people. In 1990, him and his sister, Gbemisola Saraki, were accused of stealing 510,000 naira. That's like $3,000 from the Society General Bank of Nigeria. In fact, you know, I have a copy of the charges written against them. I'll read some of it to you. It says that you, Dr. Olubukola Saraki, Ms. Gbemi Saraki, did unlawfully commit felony by stealing 510,000 naira, property of Society General Bank of Nigeria. It's right here. Documents don't lie. You know what they did? They secured court injunction, which prevented police from arresting them. That was how both of them got away with stealing 510,000 naira. You know, this was 1990. And guess what? You know, now 2012, the guy has graduated to 21 billion naira.
International TT. ITT. International TT. International.
It's so funny that this same guy became a governor in Kwara State in 2003, and he served 2 terms from 2003 to 2011. You know, it's only in Nigeria that stuff like this happen, where a criminal can become a governor. You know, he began accumulating these loans from Intercontinental Bank because the Society General Bank, where him and his sister stole, that money, that bank eventually liquidated. So they moved to Intercontinental Bank because he's friends with the former managing director, that's Lai Alabi. And guess what? The former managing director wrote off his debt of 21 billion naira. How can you write off $130 million and think that the bank will not have a problem in the future? You know, it's like, duh. But this is Nigeria. Anything is possible. Now he's trying to get out the way he did in 1990. He tried to get a court injunction, and guess what? This time he did not get it. But, you know, because he's very smart, he had his press person release a statement that he's been granted court injunction. And guess what? The policemen did not arrest him because they think he actually got the court injunction, and so nobody arrested him again. Can you see how smart this guy is? This is a smart thief. You know, if Fela were to be alive today, he would have a special song just for Bukola Saraki. Right now, everybody is looking up to the Inspector General, Mr. Abubakar. I hope you watch my show. If not, hopefully someone will tell you that Nigerians from all over the world are looking at you right now to know if you will do the right thing on this case. So, Mr. Inspector General, I'm watching you day and night. At least for once, let justice prevail. Because this guy and his family, they've been exploiting Nigerians for a long time, especially Kwarans. It's about time for Kwara State to develop too. You know, I'm just keeping it real. 6 Ugandan women made international news this week because they decided to protest naked against the way a female politician was handled. They were naked. What do you mean almost naked? Everything was out. Take a look, Jared.
They stripped down to their inner clothing and made their way to the streets of central Kampala, Uganda's female opposition activists opting to engage in a protest act many consider inappropriate, but one they felt was necessary to symbolize and voice an even greater concern. An alleged brazen sexual assault on one of their colleagues by a police officer last week. This, the television footage captured by the Ugandan television broadcast Friday, showing the arrest of Opposition Forum for Democratic Change Women League leader Ingrid Turinawe during a planned demonstration. A police officer seen pinching her right breast repeatedly in the resulting scuffle, despite her adamant protests.
Stop squeezing my breast! Stop squeezing my breast! Remove her from there!
It's so unfair how the woman was handled. Why would anyone in their right senses touch somebody else's breast? And then, did you see that?
A police officer seen pinching her right breast.
You know, that police officer needed a dirty slap, you know, right there. But the good thing is that he's been fired, okay? So that takes care of that. But is it just me, or does somebody else think that Ugandan police have been in the news lately, you know, repeatedly for maltreating people? Something's got to change, you know. The police is supposed to protect the people, not to harm them. I'm just keeping it real. This week was the 2012 African Movie Academy Awards in Lagos. Woo! You know, I love Nollywood. I'm proud to be a Nigerian because, you know, our entertainment industry is doing big things, you know. Right now, we are #1 in terms of movie production in the whole world, you know, in terms of the quantity of the movies produced. Don't ask me about the quality. It's good. The quality is good if you consider the money that Nollywood has. They don't have a lot of money, so yes, the quality is okay. It's good, okay. But I'm so proud of the fact that, you know, we're #1 in terms of production, followed by Bollywood in India and then Hollywood in the US. My only problem with Nollywood is when they come up with some titles like Beyonce, Rihanna, Lady Gaga. They just released a movie titled Lady Gaga. Why would an African movie be titled Lady Gaga? How creative can you be? Seriously? It's funny that a lot of Americans are addicted to Nollywood movies.